Welcome back. Now we'll take a look at these notes. That'll explain how to do everything very easily, very quickly, with a little bit of hassle and an easy formula. So listen, follow along. Like I said earlier, pause if you need to. Take a second to write things down. I'm just going to go through all this and then talk about most of them and then let you check some of them. There's a key up at the front, and you can check them, and then you can jump right into the homework. It's a piece of cake. All this is on the quiz. So let's start with the two different types of sequences we have. We have arithmetic sequences and we have geometric sequences. We're going to start with the arithmetic sequence. An arithmetic sequence is a sequence of terms that have a common difference between them. This is going to be one like the number 4, or one simply that goes something like this: 3, 7, 11, 15, 19. You'll notice in each one of these, this is going up by 4, going up by 4, going up by 4, going up by 4. So it has a common difference of 4. Now, the formula that we're going to use, I'm going to cross out that T sub n, and I'm going to replace it with A sub n. A stands for arithmetic. The formula is this. It's A sub 1 plus D times n minus 1. Now, just so you know, A sub 1 is the first term. D is the common difference. And n is the number of the term you are looking for. And then the 1 is just something that you need to have in there so it ends up in the right spot. Okay? So the example that you had on your assignment, on your warm-up, where you're looking for the 72nd term, would look like this. We're starting with negative 17. We're adding 3 every single time, and we're looking for the 72nd term. So then to calculate this, we would go negative 17 plus 3 times 72 minus 1. And that would give us 196. The answer that I gave you earlier. Next, we have geometric sequences. Geometric sequence is a sequence of terms that have a common ratio between them. A geometric sequence, a real simple one, might be 1, 3, 9, 27, 81. Each step, this is times 3, times 3, times 3, times 3. It's got a common ratio of 3, because for each one you're multiplying by 3. And again, for the formula, let's put, instead of T of n, let's put G sub n. Okay? And that formula is going to be slightly different because you're not adding every time over and over, you're multiplying. So this is going to be G sub 1 times R, which is a common ratio, and now not times, but to the power of n minus 1. So it's an exponent. Because as you multiply things over and over and over and over again, the faster way to do that is just making it exponent. So, the problem on the warm-up, we would start with 0.25, and then times, in this case we're doubling it, so times 2 to the 20th, so 20 minus 1. And you can put that directly in the calculator. With or without the parentheses, it won't matter because it knows it's in an exponent like that. But when you do that, you will end up with 131,072. So, we'll try a couple. Now, the key thing here is to be able to find out if it's a ratio or difference. Now, I know you guys are smart kids, and so this next part's going to be real boring to you. You're not going to want to listen because, by golly, why would you want to do it the right way? You can just do it. But let me show you something. I'm only going to show you once, and you're going to have a question about it later, so hopefully you listen now. But to determine if it's a ratio or a difference, it's real simple. You look at it 2 terms at a time. Okay? And when you do that, you do one of two things. You either subtract or you divide. So we'll start with this. Let's do 12 minus 6. That gives us 6. We'll do 18 minus 12, and that gives us 6. We'll do 24 minus 18, and that gives us 6. We have our common difference. Okay? No need to do anything tricky. That is just our common difference, the number 6. Okay, so D equals 6. That means it is an arithmetic sequence. Now, we can use our formula. You see it up at the top. And we can create our formula so we can determine the 8th term or whatever term we want to. So we start with the first term, which is 6. We're going to add to it the common difference, which also happens to be 6. And then times, we're looking for the 8th term, so 8 minus 1. So 6 plus 6 times 8 minus 1, put that in the calculator, you find out that the 8th term is 48. So now, let's do letter B. Okay. Let's try subtracting. 11 minus 6 is 5. And 17 minus 11 is 6. Not common, so therefore, these two are not arithmetic. Okay. So, now let's try geometric. To do that, we're actually going to divide. 11 divided by 6, which is 1.833, and 17 divided by 11, which is 1.5, I can't remember. But it's not the same thing, whatever it is. So that means it's not geometric, which is possible. As you see up here, neither. Okay? There are lots of other types of sequences out there. We're only learning about 2 of them this year. Okay? So for us, this year, anything that's not arithmetic or geometric is something else. In today's assignment, that something else is neither. Some other time it could be something else. And in fact, in other classes, you'll learn other different types of sequences. But right now, we're just going to stick with those 2, which you'll understand later as we go on. So this one is a neither. Doesn't mean you still couldn't figure out the sequence. This one's going up by 5. This one's going up by 6. That means the next one goes up by 7, which makes it 24. Then by 8, which makes it 32. Then by 9, which makes it 41. Then 10, which makes it 51. And then 11, which makes it 62. So you can still figure out the term. It's just not as easy. And then the last one I'll do with you is letter C. And if you look at that closely, I think most of you probably figured out that it is not going to be an arithmetic one because you're obviously not adding the same thing. So let's go through our process again. 14 divided by 2 is 7. 98 divided by 14 is 7. And 686 divided by 14 is 7. So there's our common ratio. This one is definitely geometric because we're dividing each time. Now, I know some of y'all are going to blow past this part, like I said earlier, and you're just going to ignore it and go, oh, I can figure it all out. But the process I just showed you how I added or subtracted or divided or multiplied or whatever will always give you the common difference or the common ratio. Whereas when you try to figure it out in your head, you're more than likely going to be off on some of these. So keep that in mind. Follow the steps. If you don't know, go back. If you have questions, go back. Okay, so then the formula here is going to be, it's a geometric, so you can see it up there at the top. Our first term is 2. We're going to multiply it by the common ratio of 7. And then if we're looking for the 8th term, we're going to go to a parentheses 8 minus 1. So now when we put that in the calculator and calculate it, we are going to end up with a very large number, which turns out to be 1,647,086. Okay. At this point, go ahead and pause it. and then come back and check in a couple minutes. All the answers will be on here on the video. I wouldn't copy. I would actually check it and practice, because your assignment's going to go from there. But give it a pause and then come back. All right, here you can check the rest of the answers. Now, I know you did them all, you didn't just go back and copy, but still, here you go. And then again, I'm going to pause it, and then I'll show you the answers to the back. All right, so you can see the answers now. Go ahead and write them down, but also check them. Hopefully you actually work through it. If you're not getting how, or not understanding how to get it, by all means, talk to your neighbor. Make sure somebody explains it to you. You're just using the two formulas. If it's neither, you're not using a formula, obviously. You're having to come up with it on your own. And here you can see the bottom 6. So pause or check. When you're satisfied that you know what you're doing, go to the front, pick up the 2 worksheets. One of them says 4.2 assignment. It's one front and back. That is it's more just sequences and some review. And then the second page says 4.3 arithmetic and geometric sequences worksheet. That one is more what we're doing today, or all of what we're doing today, so make sure you go through that. Write your equations, write your sequences, your nth term. Make sure you find the difference or the ratio and complete that. Also notice on the sideboard is information about your quiz on Friday. Notice all of it, all the things that will be covered on it. I will be here on Thursday, so I should be here Thursday morning, and I should be here, I won't be here Thursday in Flex, but you can come by Friday morning if you need to, if you have any questions. Thank you very much. Be nice to the sub.